some very unexpected developments in your
Crash.
future.
Yeah.
Shocking events
Yeah, it
that
is.
could change the course of your life.
That last part might have been a hair dramatic, but there's lots of awesome updates and additions coming to the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time experience on PlayStation 5.
Cool. Still have not played it.
Hey everyone, I'm Lou Studdard,
I haven't yet
producer
either.
at Toys for Bob. I'm here to give you the feature rundown on Crash Bandicoot
Static
4
and crackle on the
PS5.
screen.
That includes 4K at 60 frames per second, adaptive triggers, 3D audio, and more.
Let's make this fun.
Picking up where Crash Bandicoot Warp left off, in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, we find the evil masterminds Neo-Cortex and Dr. Entropy escaping
it's not
a
too bad.
once thought inescapable interdimensional prison, leaving giant holes in the universe.
Good enough.
What follows is
Good.
a mind-bending adventure for Crash and his marsupial pals. We designed Crash Bandicoot 4 to leap off your screen, brimming with bold, vibrant environments and characters. Crash Bandicoot has always looked pretty suave. But wait
Nice.
until you see him spinning heads in native 4K at 60 frames per second. With the weight of the universe on your shoulders, and probably some errands to run, there's little time to wait on loading screens. The DualSense wireless controllers bring adaptive triggers to your fingertips, so you can feel the blast of Neo-Cortex's DNA-changing ray gun.
That's
or
cool.
feel the
Yeah.
grip when you grapple a ton of hookshot. Hold on tight when you feel the boost of Crash's jetboard, and really feel the suck
Dingo
when you
Dial.
vacuum his Dingo Dial. Looking to get fully
My
immersed
baby
in the
ate
Crash
a
Bandicoot
dingo.
universe? Crank it up to 11 and take your audio into an all-new
audio.
dimension with enhanced 3D audio. Achieving the infamous 106% completion is the sign of a true Bandicoot master. But should our genetically mutated marsupial lose his way, leverage PlayStation 5 activity cards to track your progress and hit your goals for things like time trials,
Oh, cool.
flashback levels, and boss fights. I bet Entropy wishes he had that. Even bring your incomplete save over from the PlayStation
Whoa,
4
that's
and
cool.
use the activity cards to get to 106%. Oh, and one more thing. If you own the PS4 version of the game, an upgrade option is available.
Ride
Check
that
out
polar
the
bear.
PlayStation blog for full details. Whether it's your first playthrough or your 100th, there's no better time to experience Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time
Okay, cool.
on PlayStation 5.
Neat.
March 12th for PS5.
Welcome back, Crash. The gang's all here on today's new edition of State of Play. We've got some great updates lined up for you. First, let's check out the latest on an eagerly anticipated game coming to the PS5 console this spring from PlayStation Studios.
I remember the trailer for this.
Hey
It looked
everyone,
interesting.
we at Housemark are excited to give you this sneak peek at Returnal. In Returnal, you will play as Celine, an Astra scout, who crash lands on an alien planet, Atropos, after receiving a mysterious signal, White Shadow. Players will explore this inscrutable, dark planet in search for answers and unfold mysteries,
It's like Space
which may
Lost,
point
Derek.
to a larger force at play. Dashing and quickly maneuvering your way above and around enemies is key
Dead.
to survival.
Dude, that looks creepy.
Oh,
Yeah, that was really cool. It's like Doom level maneuverability.
I like the speed of the movement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're gonna die. Oh,
Reminds me of like a Warframe kind of.
With the large variety of enemies and the vast number of unique movesets which
No.
possess, combat situations prove challenging no matter what the circumstances are. Death is only the beginning.
Oh, cool. I forgot about that.
Every time you die and restart, the world will change. The map will be different, enemies will appear in new locations and in differing numbers, so you have to think fast and adapt.
This is
Here you
terrible
can
for
see
me.
the use of
That's the
the
only way I
lightning
can
fire,
progress in
which is
games.
great
Yeah,
for crowd
it's
control.
like
you
Hades.
can't just rely on
This
the
is one
be
of
like
many
getting better.
altfires that you can
The
acquire.
roguelike.
Yeah, crowbar is not an option now.
Roguelite. Yeah.
You can't be like, well, I know that guy's over there.
You will stumble across mysterious
Stick your arm in
devices
that hole.
can grant rewards to the player. These will
Oh,
vary
it's
from
totally-
weapons,
oh, no.
consumables, and upgrades, and they can completely change your playstyle.
Reminds you of
and
another
make
game,
each
doesn't it?
cycle
Yeah.
feel unique.
And the mummy.
Besides the intense combat, Returnal also has a deep and engaging narrative. We allow players to piece together the puzzle that is the story of Celine as they venture deeper and deeper into Atropos.
It reminds me of
personal
Prometheus and stuff a little bit,
That's...
like here and there.
that can't be
Yeah.
here.
That's a weird house to be on an alien planet.
I am reliving my memories in that house, but not fully.
Oh.
They're corroded. Some parts are missing, others seem manufactured. But I can remember the torment, feeling like I was losing my mind. There's no comfort here. No safe space.
That's the table from Phasmophobia.
Exactly as I left it.
Dude, I wonder if you play in first person some too, or what? Reminds me of
Looked like
It looks like it, yeah.
what was it called, Rick? The Silent Hill that got canceled. PT.
PT.
Returnal lands on April 30th, and it's developed by the talented team at Housemark. Next, let's take a closer look at a high-impact new PS4 game called
We've seen a little bit
Knockout
of this
City.
from the
The Nintendo one.
Nintendo, yeah.
Hi, I'm Josh from Bellin Studios. We're an indie developer based in upstate New York, and we recently announced Knockout City, a team-based multiplayer action game for PS4 where rival crews settle their scores with epic dodgeball battles.
As
Knockout
you
City
do.
is easy to pick up and play, but there's a lot of depth here for those who've got the skills. In our 1v1 face-off mode, you'll go head-to-head in a constantly shrinking battleground, relying on your reflexes and abilities to knock out an opponent. A well-timed
The
catch
long
powers
times
up
I've
the ball,
played
making it
dodgeball.
easier
That's cool.
to land a hit. Use trick shots to lob a ball over a ledge or hook it around a corner. Fake a throw to mess up your opponent's timing and knock them out before they
Oh,
can
that's I
recover.
like that.
When you're in
Yeah,
a tough
that's
spot
cool.
with a ball flying your way, a last-second dodge is the difference between getting knocked out and staying in the fight. Keep your wits about you and outplay
Nice.
your opponent to break
You have
home
an
a
area
win.
you gotta stay in and stuff.
Yeah. That's in the one-on-one.
This seems really fun.
Let's jump
We should
into
play
Team
this.
KO, our 3v3 mode.
Catch the balls like the
Teamwork
arrows
makes
in
the dream work
Towerfall.
in Knockout City.
Like the three of us
If your
versus
crew is
Rick.
outmatched, a well-coordinated team can still dominate. We're playing in Back Alley Brawl, a new map that you'll find in our upcoming crossplay beta. The special ball for this match is the Sniper
Sniper
Ball,
ball.
which
Ooh.
locks onto targets from far across
Dang.
the map and wham! You can take them out before they have a chance to react.
Damn blue
Beyond
turtle
special
shell.
balls, each map features a unique mechanic. In Back Alley Brawl, you can hop into a tube and make a quick getaway, or use them to sneak up on your opponents. Caught empty-handed? You can literally become the ball, a new weapon for your teammate. Or risk it all. Charge up a teammate, launch them high into the air with an ultimate throw,
Jeez.
and they'll land in a huge
Okay.
instant KO explosion. The team here at Velen has been obsessed with building this world over the last 4 years. Knockout City is coming out May 21st, and we'd love your help in our final stretch of development. Rally your crew
Crossplay
and
beta.
sign up for our crossplay beta at knockoutcity.com to play early on PlayStation. See you soon, brawlers.
Seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like the idea that you can just turn to a ball if you don't have a ball.
Yeah.
Eric,
So
toss me.
Time for
Toss me.
something new.
Unto the elf.
Here's your first look at an upcoming
probably what's gonna
PS5
happen to me. You
game
guys
from
do
the
that
team at Slow
Mario all
Class.
the time.
Okay, first look.
A hallway fight scene.
I was saying Daredevil the game.
Yeah.
Every fight's just in a hallway.
I was thinking Old Boy or The Raid.
Oh. Oh man, he's been here for so long. Knocked out.
He
This is
took
like
a nap.
remake of Kung Fu.
Fighting looks cool.
Yeah, the fight animation's great.
Yeah, it
Reminds
is.
me of,
And I really enjoy the art style.
Seafood Dog.
His whole life.
Ooh.
Okay, Sifu.
That was the debut of Sifu, coming to the PS5 console later this year. Now let's get an update on Solar Ash, an epic new PS5 adventure from Heart Machine.
No, the event horizon.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Preston, creative director of Heart Machine. You might know us as the team behind Hyperlight Drifter. Today, I'm here to show you the first peek at gameplay for our new title, Solar Ash. Solar Ash is a huge, stylish 3D platformer focused on speed, movement, and fluidity.
It's like
the game is set
Silver
inside
Surfer.
a giant black hole known as the Ultra Void, which has been consuming everything in its path. You play as Ray, a daring Void Runner who has decided to venture into this terrifying anomaly as a last-ditch effort to save
Ray
her
what?
homeworld. Ray is extremely agile.
Last
able to
name
speed
doesn't matter,
across the world
Eric.
with abilities akin to skill. On the ashen clouds, she can quickly cover great distances in our huge world. At its core, Solar Ash is a game about movement, and Ray has everything she needs to flow through the dangerous and unique world.
Platforming seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
As you journey to save your planet, you'll find yourself face to face with
It is very
grotesque
ice
and
game.
violent creatures.
Yeah.
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 Our combat system is simple, fast, and fluid.
Well, I think
built to
she
empower
does have like
players and
inline
encourage
skates, right? I
As
don't know.
you
Can't tell.
explore the Ultra Void,
Feet are moving too fast.
enemy encounters
Oh,
will
maybe they're just
scale to
shoes.
greater and greater sizes.
Yeah.
Some of these creatures require speed and precise timing to defeat.
Just shoes.
Yep.
Ray will eventually need to face the massive sentinels of this void.
Grim.
Wretched, starved beasts.
It does a bit, yeah.
The key
I was like, what does that look
Movie
like?
to him, you know?
Yeah.
Looks very grim like there.
Shadow Colossus.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Solar Ash is Heart Machine's vision of the adventure platformer. The giant spaces, the feel of movement, the flow of combat, and the high-stakes battles atop enormous beasts all come together to bring players something we think is incredibly unique, and more importantly, fun. This game is a labor of love for everyone on the Heart Machine team. We're excited to bring Solar Ash to PS5 and PS4 later this year.
Interesting.
Cool.
If you're a fan of
wonder if
scary
it's gonna be the
games,
Resident
this
Evil?
next one is for you.
No.
When I first found you, you were nothing. You were small, pathetic. But now, you are more. Are you
Oh,
ready?
is this like a Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's?
Oh.
Maybe not. That's different.
Definitely looks like
Oh, yeah, I think it might be
It
yeah.
looks like it is.
Freddy.
Pizzaplex.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's a Willy's Wonderland.
Just the person threw me off.
So do you play as the bad guys?
We're getting ready to play some music.
Gregory,
wanna
we
rock.
can get you out of here. You and me together. They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you.
What if Nick Cage is in this, Rick?
Very different.
I'm in. He is.
We have to get you
Oh
out
my
by morning.
gosh, fucking ball pit.
It's kitchen, Eric.
Do as I
Get in the oven.
You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will. Both of you burn!
Yeah. Do the music.
is more going on here than you realize.
Security breach sounds familiar.
That was a chilling new look at Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. Up next,
yeah.
let's take a tour of Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lanning, Creative Director at Oddworld Inhabitants. Today, I'm going to take you on a brief tour of our newest game, Oddworld Soulstorm.
He's got a good voiceover
They've
voice.
always
He
known
does,
you
the
would
guy.
come. Do you know why you have?
In Soulstorm, you reprise the role of Abe, accidental hero turned unlikely leader of an emerging revolution, as you do battle through weird and wonderful environments in an effort to escape the all-powerful and
Gluckins.
eternally greedy Gluckins. We really wanted to bring this world to life with what we call
yes.
2.9D platforming, which
So
adds
it's
much more
almost
depth
3D.
and immersion for the player. This sense of connection is also reinforced through the use of the DualSense's haptic feedback, as you'll now be able to feel Abe's heartbeat
That's
in
kinda
high
neat.
alert and
Yeah.
suspenseful situations. There are well over 1,000 fellow Mudokons that you must try to save along the way, but they are far more than helpless workers looking to be saved. When used effectively, you'll be able to solve puzzles, harness their combined energy, and be given the tools
Give 'em
they
some
need
fizzy
to
pop.
fight alongside you. And there will be times when the extra hands will be needed as you face off against an array of heavily armed enemies that will stop at nothing to
That is
find
pretty
and end
horrifying.
Abe once and for all. In order to stand a chance against this much larger threat, we gave Abe the ability to scavenge, loot, and pickpocket items from his surroundings and use them
Cool.
to craft an impressive arsenal of his own that he can share with others. You can also play as a non-lethal pacifist or an agent of chaos. We wanted you to have the choice. But there is
don't
one
kill them.
iconic ability for our shamanic protagonist, possession. This mystical power allows you to take control of your foes and use their strengths and
Oh.
weapons against them.
You can just
or
will
use them
someone to
gain
explode
access
themselves?
to paths still ahead. The Oddworld universe is a diverse place, and this means
Block
that there
her
are
hiding,
some
Rick.
environments and
There's so
situations
many
that
of
require
them.
a little more thought, patience, and stealth. You'll find dark and dangerous caves, heavily guarded industrial sites, and ancient forgotten lands. Here, we've built lots of opportunities for you to test your skills
Behind-
and
behind
find
the
different
scene.
ways to handle things. It won't be easy. If being hunted by an army backed by a shady and wealthy organization isn't bad enough, there are also more dangers in the forms of natural obstacles, ancient traps, trials against swarming dark creatures,
no.
and industrial
Gosh.
hazards that must be dodged, crossed, and avoided. Ultimately, Abe's journey is one of hope, freedom, and truth. There is a rich and engaging narrative to discover in a world full of lies, and we've been able to bring our characters to life like never before. In true Oddworld fashion, your actions in-game will decide the fate of Abe and all those you manage to liberate along the way. And we can't wait to see what you
It actually
will
looks pretty
do.
cool. I've never played any of the other Oddworlds, but that looks neat.
Yeah, the storytelling in the Oddworld is like super ambitious. Like he wanted to do 7 games, 6 movies, like a TV show.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't be in Discord.
That was the latest
I
on
think I am,
Oddworld
but-
Soulstorm. And here's some exciting news. Active PlayStation Plus members will
just
get
have
the
been
PS5
muted.
version for no extra cost starting in April. PS5 version for no extra cost starting in April.
Oh.
Moving on. It's time to catch up with Kena Bridge of Spirits, a gorgeous new adventure we last saw in the June PS5 showcase.
He's so cute.
Just wait until he gets angry.
It's like a troll. From Trolls. Not the Trolls you're watching.
Gotcha. It's got like antlers or horns or something.
This has very beautiful environments.
Very much so.
It's like a
Rats in
PlayStation
my
Pikmin.
crumble are usually timid. Something tells me you did not come to our village looking for forest creatures.
Hello, Spirit.
I seek passage to the sacred mountain shrine.
Our village is bound to the shrine's energy. But that power faded long ago. Trapped spirits linger here, tangled in the tragedies of our past. You must help these spirits who wish to reach the mountain shrine.
It's okay. You have to go now.
Yes. Aim for the weak spots. It's got all those little guys falling around like oh shoot, what are they called?
This land can be healed, but you cannot stay here, Spirit.
Little sprites.
You must move on.
Yeah.
Whoa. Jeez.
Oh, that. Not great.
Oh no.
Whoa. They just took over a person?
Yep.
I don't know.
Definitely has an Ori feel.
Spirit guides
That's super
the
cool.
lonely one.
Now let's settle in for a stylish new look at Deathloop, a PS5 first-person shooter developed by the team at Arcane.
Okay.
What?
You'll never
We've seen
ever
quite a
break
bit of
this
this.
loop.
There's no
Yeah.
never here. Just
It's
you,
the
me, and the rest of these
assassin versus
maniacs.
assassin.
Yeah.
Bring it, baby.
This is Ramblin' Frank's Matinee. This little ditty goes out to the handsome asshole trying to break our loop. Cold, the visionaries are ready to dance. Are you?
Feels like James Bond. This song does, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of stylishness in the trailers, but the game itself doesn't look super stylish.
Sure.
It'd be cool if they could incorporate that stuff.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen this game a lot, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those we've seen a lot. I felt like it was coming out soon, but it did.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This feels a lot more like Dishonored. That's
Jesus, that was awesome.
oh my gosh.
Where you been hiding? Boy, do I got a bone to pick with you. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Lasers.
The kill is always new.
Song's over, people. And so is Ramblin' Frank. The rest of you motherfuckers are next.
Any date yet? Still no date?
Nope.
Nope, guess not.
Before we leave, how about a huge update for one
We're
of
in a loop of
2020's
waiting
most
for that game to come out.
celebrated games?
Hey, here you go, Rick.
Rick, there you go.
Oh.
Cloud, quickly!
PS5 -er?
Yep.
Jesse! Barrett!
Where you been?
Tifa! Help me!
The hell of a game.
Come on, let's push it past the red line!
You're fighting a guy with a sword like that, with a little baton. Just give up.
You better move your belly.
He can move that sword the same as you can move the baton. You give him the baton, you'd be dead.
A touching reunion.
Well, guys, your girl finally made it to Midgar.
Fucking birds.
Oh.
My name is Yuffie,
Hello,
Materia
Yuffie.
Hunter and Elite Special Forces Operative for the new Wutai government. We'll prove to our common enemy that Wutai is
She was
not
not
to be
in.
trifled with.
I mean, she's
Members
coming
of
here, though.
Avalanche, we got this.
I'm back.
Ah, there you are.
that?
Someone's been expecting you. What took you?
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I'm Sonon Kusakabe. Where's Cloud? We lost him.
You what?
He will be okay, though, right?
Well, of course he will.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors. Cool. Should we say hi?
No, better not. After what they've done, you gotta assume Shinra's on their tail.
Look, a Moogle!
Is that like a prank?
We gotta help.
Okay.
Cool.
She was a secret character in the first game.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, like you could play beat the whole game without even seeing it.
Yeah.
She's not so secret here.
Apparently not.
It might be a bigger part of the story. Like,
Yeah.
Cloud's missing right now, so maybe you're playing her instead.
I mean, it certainly looks that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if it's like, is that who you're playing
No freaking way!
instead of Cloud, or is it a character you can play alongside Cloud, or is there an element of both?
Sure.
Looks like there's like another team that you can play.
Yeah, because this is very so not.
Yeah.
You guys should probably get moving.
Got it.
Whatever it is they're planning, you're better off out of it.
They deserve what's coming to them.
Yeah, they do. But I'm not your sister.
There you are.
Who are these jerks?
No clue. It just appeared.
Intergrade.
What does that mean?
Let the hunt begin.
June 10th or October 6th.
Get down here, Bert.
Tell me what I just saw. Screen's not the best place to show
No.
differences, but
I mean, it looks pretty crisp on mine.
Shading and lighting effects look just better.
they look better.
Reflections look so much cleaner. Higher frame rate.
Yeah, my biggest problems were like looking up at the underside of Midgar on the plates and just the repeated NPCs
Yeah.
models. I wonder if they'll fix that too.
Like,
Oh,
things seem
you're
brighter.
spoiling so much, trailer. Good God. His hair does look much better.
Yeah.
Which that was a problem before sometimes too.
classic difficulty. Wow.
Loading times
That's
were
insane.
much longer in 4.
That was that was the biggest improvement from Valhalla.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It was like 2 minutes to 10 seconds.
New episode. Okay.
Wait, what?
I guess it'll be PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, I can see that. It could be some of the miles though.
You see that?
That's my ninja. So then just do it.
Yep.
My ninja way.
If you own, you get an upgrade to the PS5 version for free. Awesome.
So you don't have to buy it again?
New episode
That's great.
featuring Yuffie.
That was my question.
Available for purchase after upgrading. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. So the Yuffie thing is separate then.
Yeah, so it's DLC you buy separately, but if you already own it on PS4, you get it for PS5.
Got it.
That was the reveal of
June or
Final
October?
Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade,
Oh,
coming to
tell
the
me.
PS5 console later this year.
June.
Oh, yeah.
And that's our show. We hope you're as excited as we are for what's to come in 2021. See you next time.
PlayStation.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't think there was any announcements other than the Final Fantasy DLC, which was new.
Yeah.
And then I think the Sifu was something that was new.
Sifu seemed new.
Yeah.
Everything else I think is something that's been already mentioned or shown or something before.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, there's starting in the beginning with Crash. I haven't played Crash yet, but coming to PS5, I'm glad that they're making upgrades to make them. They're not just porting it over like let's just make more money. At least they're upgrading some aspects, including the haptic feedback for the controllers and stuff like that.
60 frames per second.
Yeah,
And 3D audio.
trying to upgrade it more so that it has all the features that it could have on PS5, but it had already been released on PS4. I believe we saw more for Returnal.
Yeah,
Than what we saw
We've
before.
seen more this time than before. That was really cool.
At
Yeah,
least-
no, I like the look of that flow and speed.
Yeah, at least I haven't seen the combat before, I don't feel like. And the environments there is just, it's creepy, kind of scary, but it's also like fast paced, you know? Like a lot of like, you know, if I compare it to like Dead Space, I wouldn't say Dead Space is quick and speed and, you know, like.
No, it looks more like a, you know, like an Unreal Tournament or a.
Or like Doom, like how fast you move in Doom, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you're just bouncing around the map on that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a little bit more of that, but it still has a very creepy aspect. And there's the idea of like you die and you come back and everything's different.
Well, we knew about that idea, but yeah, it sounds like a roguelite where, you know, the rooms might be different, the enemy spawns might be different. Like, I wonder if there is like a progression system in it.
Sure.
Or if it's just like you've got to have new challenges every time until you beat it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. There was some kind of story progression that they had with like the houses and stuff too, which felt like a diving into the mind of who the person really is, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, the house didn't feel like it was supposed to be there.
It definitely seemed like it was out of place in a cave.
Sure. But then it also went into like a first person kind of looking mode, which
did.
I don't know if you play that. Because it reminded me of the Silent Hill like PT. Like you go in that hallway, you know, and you're looking around and.
You know what it reminded me of, Aaron?
What?
Friday the 13th for the NES. Because that was third person until you got inside the house and then it changed to first person.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's where
I
I'm gonna
remember
go.
that. Yeah, you're right.
So, but that game looks interesting. It might have been, I don't know. It's one of my favorites that I'm wanting to look into, I guess, in the future to see what it's like when it comes out and if it's gonna be like a Scream stream kind of title to play or something.
Definitely.
We saw Knockout City again here.
Yeah.
It looked better here than it did in the Nintendo one.
Yeah. We got to see a little bit more of the game modes.
How the
and
actual game plays, yeah.
Play and everything.
Yeah, there was some like describing factors to it rather than just a trailer, which I feel like we didn't get too much of in the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
But no, I like the look of it. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you know there's there's dodging, there's catching,
Understanding the
there's
mechanics.
fake throws and stuff too. Like
interests me a lot more now.
yeah, like having more of that. And like, okay, well, you throw the ball, if you catch it, it's easy to catch it, but it powers it up if you catch it. You know, like
Yeah.
So there's some cool things there. I like that. But it has a cross-play beta that you can sign up for at their website. So
cool.
It's kind of cool. We mentioned it slightly, but the Sifu game, what you guys think of it? Because this is the first time that I think anyone's seen the Sifu game.
I mean, it looked like it took Kung Fu, like the old game, but it put the combat for sleeping dogs in it. Like it looked very Batman-esque in its combat, very like fluid, moving from one dude to the next, counters, interacting with the environment.
Sure.
I like the art style of it, honestly. It's different than when I expect, like, PS5 game. It's like, oh, okay, but the art style looks cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, stylized games, I felt like, here, rather than, like, let's make this look as real as we can.
Yeah.
Between that and Solar Ash and stuff, too, like, they have a very style. Knockout City doesn't look like this is a realistic dodgeball game kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand, like, he fell down at one point, he came up and he looked different.
Yeah, he was older. It's like it's like you were living his whole life or something.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, it could have been a time pass to another fight. It could be that when you get knocked out, you get older. I don't know. I don't know what it is, you know? Like, it looked like he aged, though, or at least he was there long enough to grow a beard.
Like, in some of the other cutscenes or whatever it was that we saw, like, more of his hair had turned gray, and he had longer beard and hair and stuff.
It's like he has accelerated aging, except when he's fighting.
Like, whenever he
ages,
ages,
live his life.
It's like Crank, right?
Crank, yeah.
And with Jason Statham, like, he has to, like, keep his adrenaline up or else he's going to die or whatever, right? So, like, I don't know, maybe there's something like that. Maybe there's some kind of weird supernaturally element to it or something with that.
Yeah.
But it did seem a little weird, unless it's just supposed to be saying, like, there's a passing of time and you're fighting through his life. Or, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're on a timer, right? If you die too much, like, you can't just die forever. If you die too much, you die of old age. You know, you get too old.
That would be an interesting concept. Like, you have 5 lives, but they last a minute. You know?
Yeah, like there's like a time span of like how many times you can die and
I feel like we're making a game that doesn't exist.
Yeah, like there could be something different about it, but I'm not sure what that answer is for that. But I love the combat. It felt flowy enough, and like I love that hallway. I thought of like Daredevil or something like that, where like there's a hallway fight scene. He's throwing weapons at him and stuff too, and kicking legs and. Like I wonder how much you can target things, or how specifically of fighting you do.
Or maybe the attacks, the counter attacks are specific to the attack and counters and stuff.
Sure, it's possible there too. The next game we saw was Solar Ash, which is another stylized game by the Hyperlight Drifter team, Heart Machine. I mean, it's a 3D platformer. It looks nice. It flows.
It's like a 3D version of that Speedrunners game we played a couple of times.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of.
It might be a game that's also fun to watch speedrunning as well, because like that whole game is all based on like the flow and the way you move and everything. So it's very possible that like a speedrun of that game would just be crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like watching someone move in precise movements and stuff would be cool. But
it looked like what I want 3D Sonic to be.
Gotcha.
You know, like it was fast, but not too fast. There seemed to be a lot of fluidity to the movement. And then also, like, fighting these big things, I think, would be really cool like that as well. So, yeah, it looked good. And that art style from that team is always pretty amazing. I haven't played Hyperlight Drifter yet, but it's certainly on my list.
No, I get you. No, yeah, I mean, the, like, Shadow of the Colossus grim feel of, like, those creatures and stuff. And it had a lot of, like, weird black goo that like slowed him down,
like an ichor kind of
like
thing.
The white,
they could climb.
There was like the white bony structure of the creature kind of thing, but that is what you can like move quickly on and stuff. So it definitely seems to be like the environment's important to be able to pay attention to, and some bosses you have to beat in certain times and stuff too. So it definitely looks interesting. Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm pretty sure we've seen the name before. I don't know if I've seen anything for it before. It's still first person, but the thing that caught me off guard was like that woman guard. Like most the Five Nights at Freddy games that I've played before didn't have like other people. It was like you, and you're the only one there doing stuff. So it seems a lot more adventure-y too, because
looks very expansive.
Yeah, while like most of them were in like a single spot, and you're having to manage like resources,
like a security room
and stuff, and keep your doors shut so they can't get to you.
This one seemed like the entire like what was it, the Pizzarama
yeah, like
or whatever.
It's like the whole place. It's like, Olive Willie's or whatever. But the like sister location had where you went to different places, but this felt much more open, as you can go where you need to when you want to, maybe, or hide and get under a table or something. So Rick, what'd you think of the Oddworld Soulstorm? Because I know you've done Oddworld games in the past, right?
A little bit. I played the one I played the most was Stranger's Wrath, which is much different than the other Oddworld games.
Same for me.
But yeah, no, it's more. I'm more fascinated by the story of Oddworld and like the ambition of the project when it started out. Like, I love listening to interviews from the creative director of it and like all these visions he had for it, and like for one reason or another, it just didn't take off in a way that those things manifested. So it's always great to see those things like come back, even if it's years and years later, and that the story can be continued for the people who really love those kind of games. And it looked intriguing. Like, it's got a lot of the mechanics from the old ones, where the sort of puzzle platforminess, but taking it into the third dimension is interesting. And then also like having the item management, and you can give the items to your followers. I think it could add a lot to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that they're also for PS4, PS5, like they're tossing in that haptic feedback for PS5 to also have like some extra elements for like the heartbeat and stuff too. But I loved, like, I haven't played them before, but the style of it, the 2.9D platforming idea, like lockers in Steam, and be able to change environments to help you or mind control somebody or whatever to like alter something or take out some enemies and stuff. Like, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I
like the puzzle aspect of it.
My favorite thing about those games is like the world. It feels like you're seeing just a little tiny piece of it. It like feels bigger than it is. Like, you feel like everything is fleshed out. There's history to everything, and like someone really thought this out, and you're just getting to experience a little tiny bit of it. So, pretty cool.
We also then went to Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
That has like a very kind of beautiful environment thing going on. There's aspects of it that remind me of things from, like, I don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn, with like fighting creatures and shooting arrows and stuff too. But then I also think of like Pikmin with like the little creatures, and you're telling them to lift stuff and carry it around or whatever. But
definitely gave me like Ori and the Will-O-Wisps and Blind Forest vibes.
I thought of Majin in the Forsaken Kingdom and Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Gotcha,
like a mix of those two things.
Especially with like the green, grassy, foresty kind of elements,
and the staff combat too.
Yeah, that was probably the game I think I'm looking forward to the most of what we saw.
Kena?
Yeah,
I can get that.
That was also really interesting. I like the art style very much, and the different types of combat look cool.
Yeah. It didn't look like it's just like you fight melee. There's like some things you can do and change up and whatnot.
Yeah. It did feel like, from an outsider's perspective, what like a Zelda game would look like. I've never really played one a lot, but
like the adventure story aspect of things and stuff like that.
Like climbing around, looking for various places, and
it also had like that ending thing where like there was like a person in like getting taken over by a tree or whatever and stuff. You know,
yeah.
It's like it's what M. Night Shyamalan should have thought of.
Yeah, right.
You know, like
it's got that sort of dark fantasy vibe from like what was that cartoon, like Nim?
Secret of Nim
or something, you know, like it's all green and pretty and happy until it's not, and then it gets scary. Like, I really like that sort of art style.
How peaceful it is when everything's in balance, but then when it's imbalanced, it's like hell.
We had another one for Deathloop, which is like the 8th time we've seen Deathloop stuff.
It feels like it.
There's still no date or anything, so I don't know when it's coming out, but the premise is still the same. You die and you die again, and you go back and you fight more. I don't know.
It's a competitive, like, 2v2, but there's also...
I think it's a 1v1, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, 1v1, but there's also, like, targets that you need to take out in addition to those people.
It's like Hitman plus the ship.
It's like spy versus spy.
Yeah. It's Hitman, but you have someone else who's hunting you while you're trying to take out your targets. But in a first-person aspect, like, I like the way the game looks with, like, it's teleporting, the first-person shooter aspect of it. It has like a Mirror's Edge, Dishonored kind of feel, kind of mixed
like
in there.
You've got various like powers and utilities and stuff that you can use to teleport around and blow people up, and
Yeah. But
I like that the blast thing that he did, like those shard things that came out of his hand, and he was like charging it up and shot those 3 people and then blasted in the guy's face to start the
Yeah, like it looks
cinematic.
interesting. It just I feel like we've seen it so many times, and I'm like, well, how long? Like when are they?
Yeah.
Are they planning this year?
Are they
planning
going to do
next
like a
year?
surprise release where like
Yeah,
the
like-
next time they have a trailer, it's out?
Like we didn't have it. We didn't have E3 this past year, but I'm pretty sure we saw it at least E3 the year before. I feel like it's been a while that we've seen it like bouncing around.
Yeah.
Or at least the announcement without anything, and there's just been a little bit more. So.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll get a date at some point. Maybe they're shooting for next year and they just didn't want to say it. I don't know.
Maybe.
COVID could have also delayed it a lot too.
Yeah.
You know, that's always the thing too. Is
Sure.
people were worried about what kind of games we're going to get this year because how much did COVID push that back and hinder creations of whatever games? You know, sure, maybe they're working on the new God of War game, but how much were they able or have they been able to get done and work on it, considering
Yeah.
whatever conditions are going
How
on?
much
you know?
further would they have been ahead?
Yeah, could they have been ahead a lot further right now? You know, I don't know. And then the last one, Final Fantasy VII, Intergrade.
Yeah.
Which is coming out June 10th.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say it's probably
I'm gonna
June
assume
10th.
June 10th.
Okay.
So, but like Rick, what'd you think of that? The main thing for you is there's a new DLC aspect, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. Like
there's a new chapter.
It was tough on the stream because my stream wasn't the best quality to see like the differences.
Sure.
Like some things in Final Fantasy VII Remake are the best things my eyes have ever beheld in my life. But there were quite a few things that were under par even for like PS4 standards. So it's will be awesome seeing it on PS5. I'm super happy that they, if you bought it for PS4, you
just
get
get
it for
it,
PS5.
yeah.
I was worried that like it was gonna do like a Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale, where like Royale adds a lot, but you have to buy it again. And so like I was worried that this like Tifa thing was going to be added, but then you have to buy the whole game again.
Gotcha.
So I like the way that they're handling it, where it's a
Number
free...
one, you don't have to buy it again.
Yeah.
And number two, if you get over to PS5, you can get the DLC. You purchase that part of it.
Yeah. Although, I mean, that feels a little weird too. Like, it's already weird that they're taking this game that not everybody, but a lot of people know, and, you have to buy it 3 times in order to get the whole thing.
Yeah.
But now you also have to buy these little side stories too. Like, you can get all that from the original. Although, some of this stuff for this character looked new. It might have... I didn't recognize the guy's name immediately, but where they were kind of reminded me a little of Dirge of Servius.
Okay.
Which was a PS2 game starring Vincent. So maybe they're bringing some of that stuff as well. They're bringing in... I don't want to spoil too much, but they seem to be bringing in stuff from some of the other games into Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it wouldn't surprise me that they're bringing some of that stuff in too.
Sure. Like if they bring in some stuff from the there was the PSP game.
Yep.
Right. Like bring in some of that stuff, Dirge of Cerberus, like kind of all that lore and stuff surrounding Final Fantasy VII. Bring it all into the remake where it's all there for everyone, kind of thing, and mix them together. Like this one here, like it could either be because Cloud's missing and you're dealing with Yuffie and whatnot, because they kind of mentioned that in the trailer, or you could also kind of have it happening alongside of, and it's integrated into the story because maybe she's coming here to Midgard while other stuff was going on with Cloud and stuff. So you may have a little bit of alongside, like Resident Evil 2 style, where you're kind of having 2 things happen at the same time, right? Like that's a possibility too, maybe. But it could just be taking straight up after. If Cloud's missing, here's what's happening in between that time. And then
I wonder how expansive it'll be. Like, how many hours of content are we talking? What's it going to cost?
Sure. So, but a lot of updates going to the PS5. Loading times seem to be a big one.
Loading time was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty significant in 7 Remake, so it would be nice not having to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because we even have a faster hard drive on our PS4 than comes standard.
Yeah.
So
we got a SSD.
It still took time.
So that's I think everything they showed. I try to make sure I have a list of what all was popping up and whatnot.
Yeah.
So no God of War, no Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or anything. No.
No, even we saw some stuff for Final Fantasy, and Demon Souls and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Souls is out now.
True.
So I mean, but I don't know. Like, maybe we'll see some more in the next time. Maybe this is what we have now, because I said like COVID could have delayed some things. Maybe not. Maybe they're holding on to announcements for another time. And this
I'm not sure like what the status of the Tokyo Game Show is.
Yeah,
you'll get a lot of stuff there too.
Usually, that E3, those kind of things are when you get those bigger announcements and whatnot. You get some announcements every once in a while from other stuff too, but this one felt more of like, here's some things we've already announced that were coming out. Let's show you a little bit more of like Returnal and a Solar Ash and dive into those a little bit more so you can see what they're going to be like, versus like, let's announce a bunch of new stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Which our last one, I think, for PlayStation would have been back in like November-ish or so. I forget when it was, but that was more E3-ish time, I feel like, because E3 had been canceled at that point. So maybe, I feel like we got more announcements then of like, look at this new stuff coming. Especially PS5 coming out around then too.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't announce it here, because I think this week they announced that Ratchet & Clank for PS4 is free to everybody.
Really?
Yeah, so like even if you don't have PS Plus, it's just free.
Just
you can
free.
Just get it.
You figure, you figure they would announce some of that kind of stuff too. Just to toss it out there, even if it's not new or showing anything. It's just like, hey, look, Ratchet & Clank's out there. But no, yeah, I mean, it was okay to see. I like seeing. I wish there would have been like a little bit more. Like Sifu looks cool. It wasn't something where I'm like, man, I hope I get a sequel to this or anything,